Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the first episode of Season 3 of the Infernal Archive. If you haven't seen our show, if you're joining us for the first time, we review 8 horror movies a season. We pick a topic that we sort of try to loosely stick to. Last season, it was... Realism, like mundanity.
Realistic,
like
I think, actually.
A really boring topic for a show about horror movies. On this season, our topic is xenophobia. And xenophobia is defined as a fear or dislike of anything that is perceived as being foreign or strange. So when we were picking movies or we were looking at movies, we wanted movies that were like about aliens or about a fear of like different countries. Like the example we kind of had in our mind was the film Hostel. It's like that movie is about how scary Eastern Europe is. So it's like basically it's like any movie that plays on a fear of the other or something that you don't know about.
Theoretically in this category, Alien could fit in this category.
Yep.
And I mean Xenomorph, duh. Yep. Or Hostel. So
totally, yeah.
Very broad.
Yes.
Definitely didn't start out as just a kind of a catch-all category for random things that we couldn't source other places.
Because does every horror movie every horror movie is sort of a fear of the other, yes. So
to a degree.
Yeah.
But we're learning.
Yes, we are. Andrew, could you please read for us the 8 films we've selected for this season?
Yes, so for season 3, the possible choices here are Sputnik, which is a Russian, 2020 Russian film. Saloum is a 2021 Congolese film. The Harbinger is a 2022 American horror film. The Shrine is a 2010 Canadian film. The Mothman Prophecies, a 2002 American film. From Beyond, 1986 body horror film. The Radius, 2017 Canadian science fiction thriller film. And Cannibal Holocaust, which is a 1980 Italian cannibal film.
Mm-hmm. Now, I have seen in the, for the sake of being upfront, I have seen Cannibal Holocaust before. I went through a phase when I went to college where I looked up lists of these are the most fucked up movies ever made, and then I watched like all of them.
Yeah.
And that one appears on a lot of those lists. It was a time in my life. Didn't see a lot of great movies.
It was just a short period from like 2009 till 2025. Just a short period in your life.
Yes, it was just short. It's a phase, Mom. But yes, so like one of them that appears all the time is Cannibal Holocaust. So I have seen that before, but it's probably been like a decade since I've seen that, so I don't remember all the details necessarily. But that one I have technically seen before. Now, Andrew, let's move on to reading a quick description of each of the films.
Yes.
Do you want to start us off? And then
sure.
We'll switch on and off.
Start off here with Sputnik. So it's a 2020 Russian science fiction horror film directed by, surprise, surprise, Igor Abraменko.
Yeah, be Vladimir or Igor, if you're going to be from Russia.
It's his feature directorial debut. The lone survivor of an enigmatic spaceship incident hasn't returned home alone. Hiding inside his body is a dangerous creature.
Ooh, very spooky. Saloum is a 2021 crime horror thriller film directed by Congolese filmmaker Jean-Luc Herbulo. Sorry, Jean, for that pronunciation. In 2003, a trio of mercenaries escaping a coup in Guinea-Bissau take refuge in a hidden region on the Saloum River of Senegal, but something from beyond the grave awaits them there.
So The Harbinger is a 2022 American horror film directed by Andy Mitten. Monique ventures out of quarantine to visit an old friend who's plagued by nightmares. She finds herself drawn into a hellish dreamscape where she must face her greatest fears or risk never having existed at all.
Wow, very existential. Very scary. The Shrine is a 2010 Canadian supernatural horror film produced by Brook Street Pictures. The film was directed by John Nautz. 2 female journalists and a photographer travel to Europe to investigate a series of mysterious disappearances, only to find themselves embroiled in a struggle against a kind of evil they never expected. Banking. Lawyers.
Canadian. Exciting. The Mothman Prophecies is a 2002 American supernatural horror mystery film. Lots of genres in there. Directed by Mark Pellington. A reporter is drawn to a small West Virginia town to investigate a series of strange events, including psychic visions and the appearance of bizarre entities. I believe that stars Richard Gere.
It does. So the film gets a 10 out of 10.
We already know that one's going to be the best one.
That's going to be the best one. Richard Gere has been dreamy since 1925. Just a beautiful man. Okay, next movie, From Beyond, is a 1986 science fiction body horror film directed by Stuart Gordon, loosely based on the short story of the same name by H.P. Lovecraft. A group of scientists have developed the Resonator, a machine which allows whoever is within range to see beyond normal perceptible reality. But when the experiment succeeds, they are immediately attacked by terrible life forms. Sounds like it's
Lovecraft?
sort of in the vein. I've seen Reanimator. Sounds kind of like that sort of a thing.
Radius is a 2017 Canadian science fiction thriller film directed and written by Caroline Lebreche and Steve Leonard.
And that's Steve with 2 E's.
That's a very interesting spelling.
The Quebecois.
A man wakes up with no memory of who he is and finds that everyone who comes within a certain distance of him suddenly dies. Ooh, interesting.
And the last film, as we mentioned before, Cannibal Holocaust is a 1980 Italian cannibal film directed... Can you imagine if it wasn't a cannibal film?
Yeah.
Cannibal Holocaust
Also,
is an Italian non-cannibal film.
Are there so many cannibal films that it deserves its own genre? Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I've seen Green Inferno. That's another cannibal movie. Pretty good, actually. Cannibal Holocaust is a 1980 Italian cannibal film directed by Ruggero Deodato. An anthropologist ventures into the Amazon rainforest on a rescue mission where he recovers footage shot by a film crew documenting their disastrous encounters with local cannibal tribes. Fascinating and spooky.
So found footage then.
Yes, I would consider that's one thing. Like, if you know me, and I don't know if I've had the spiel on the Infernal Archive, I'm sure I have, but I'm very over the Blair Witch Project in my life. I find it highly overrated and not that good. Not to say it's terrible, it's brought up all the time as this fucking, zenith of found footage horror films, and I just don't find it to be that. And whenever people bring it up, I'm always like, Cannibal Holocaust came out like 20 years before that movie, and it did found footage to me in a more freaky way.
I feel like Blair Witch and Paranormal, not to go on a whole thing, but I think similar to Paranormal Activity, the first one, they're films that don't age well because it's so much of it is being in that moment and caught up in them. Because like at the time, with the marketing and all the stuff around that film that had never been done before, there was a large group of people who went to that film who thought that it was this was real footage, actual like documentary, not a film.
Yes, I will say the marketing for the Blair Witch Project is brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely 10 out of 10 marketing.
Yeah.
The film itself, not as good.
No, I think it heavily relied upon
The marketing.
some level of buying into the marketing.
Totally. I was one of those. I remember the first poster I saw for the Blair Witch Project. It's still such a good poster. It's just the paragraph, like the paragraph description you read at the beginning of the film where they're like, these students went missing. The poster was just that, and it was that paragraph with like a forest background.
Yep.
And it was like, this is the most terrifying thing I've ever read in a movie theater. Because like you said, it seemed so real at the time. But yeah, like I said, I think the movie's overrated. Hasn't aged terribly well. I don't think it's bad. I just think people need to stop bringing it up all the fucking time.
I've contained my rage for as long as possible, but I shall unleash my fury upon you like the crashing of 1,000 waves. Begone, vile man, begone from me. A starter car. This car is a finisher car. A transporter of gods. The golden god. I am untethered and my rage knows no bounds.
So before we wrap up and do our spin here, what are some of the ones on our list that you're looking forward to that you think have some potential based off of the descriptions?
I'm really intrigued by I like, as I get older, foreign cinema is just more interesting to me because it's so different than American movies. So the American ones I'm not super excited about. I'm excited for the Richard Gere one. That's because of Richard Gere and he's the man. But like Saloom, I'm super intrigued by. There's not a ton of horror African cinema, and I don't know if that movie's produced is a Africa production, but it's a Congolese filmmaker. So I'm like, I said Congolese, isn't that right?
Yep.
I think yeah. So that one I'm really intrigued by. Sputnik. Like, I've seen some Russian movies that I really, really enjoy. Like, Russia doesn't put out a ton of movies that get a lot of marketing here that we hear a lot about. But I've seen some really great examples. Like, Tarkovsky is like a brilliant filmmaker. So I'm excited for Sputnik as well. Those are kind of the two that are on my radar. What about you?
I mean, I'm always hopeful for Canadian filmmakers to make good stuff. So they do sound intriguing, but I'm hopeful that the Canadian films on the list are gonna, defy typical expectations of Canadian film.
Represent a little bit.
And I'm a big, like we both are, love Lovecraft stuff. So the From Beyond is an interesting concept to me, with the whole Lovecraft thing going on.
And he's like a filmmaker that, like, there should be like 18 amazing Lovecraft movies, and there are not. Like, people fail to adapt Lovecraft, especially when it's a direct adaptation of one of his books. Just fucking fail all the time. I don't know why that is. When it's something inspired by Lovecraft, like The Void is a great example that we saw last season, I think. If it's inspired, all of a sudden it's like amazing. But for some reason, these direct adaptations,
it's tough.
Oftentimes,
it's tough when the author frequently describes the creatures as so horrific that they can't be described. Yeah, that's like it's like how do you adapt that in such a way that visually matches up to the description, right?
I think The Void did a good job. I think that's a good movie to look at because it doesn't tell you shit, and it's just like enjoy this ride of body horror and whatever weird imagery. So that's a good example. But I don't know. The
aesthetic and the production design very much match that. Like, there's vaguely humanoid things that also look kind of from another dimension and creepy and squid and
floating pyramids that defy logic and reason. Yes. Alrighty. So we're gonna pop up the Unholy Wheel of Chaos. We branded it officially. It is the Unholy Wheel of Chaos. Don't let me forget. And we're gonna spin. We're gonna select the first movie for the first review.
Yes. And we need the pointer on your other side there as well.
Okay, pointer here. Pointer. Yeah. Okay, and producer Ghouls, I would like you to read or tell me the name of the film when you see it so that I don't have to reach around. Okay, reach around. Good. That's another double entendre, little slip of the tongue, you might say.
You do love fucking the Invisible Man.
I do love fucking the Invisible Man. I love fucking the Invisible Man. I love fucking the Invisible Man. I love the fucking Invisible. And we're spinning.
God, this wheel is chaotic.
Yeah.
And unholy.
And we're going to stop spinning, and we're settling. Harbinger. Okay, that doesn't count. Harbinger is the film.
Hey, it's a wheel of chaos.
It's chaotic.
You get what you pay for.
We're doing Harbinger. So. I don't know what it's on right now, but we're doing Harbinger. Alrighty, Andrew, would you like to read the description of Harbinger one more time?
The Harbinger.
The Harbinger
is a 2022 American horror film directed by Andy Mitten.
As if you're a horror director with the last name Mitten.
Monique ventures out of quarantine to visit an old friend who's plagued by nightmares. She finds herself drawn into a hellish dreamscape where she must face her greatest fears or risk never having existed at all.
Sounds existential. Very, very scary, very terrifying. Alrighty, well, we got Harbinger for the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning into our selectioning video, and we will catch you next time on the subsequent episode of the Infernal Archive.